Hey y'all, welcome back to the Village in the Skreets. We are the Black Flames. I am dr.griffs.
My name is Black All Might.
Today is it Black All Might or the band? What's your name?
Yo, I was like, my brain had simultaneously was like said, they told me say Bam, and the other part of my brain said say Black All Might, and they both collided together. So, my name's Bam, guys. My name's Bam.
I'm gonna close the door right next to me. Hold on.
Oh yeah, do your thing.
Sorry about that. The dog was chewing on his soul or something like that.
What?
So, yeah, welcome back to podcast episode 3, 4, 8.
I think this is slow down there. I think we're at episode 4 or 5 right now. I think we're at episode 4 or 5.
You might not see the clips in chronological order, but you know, we work on this on like a weekly basis.
Yeah, we always try to make sure we're like a couple weeks ahead when we're creating the podcast, so that way we could have some kind of system in place. But you know, we are a unprofessional professional podcast, figuring things out, guys. Figuring things out. But yeah, dr.griffs, how has your week been? Has it been busy? Has it been productive? How has it been going for you?
Personally, like outside of YouTube, you know, my schedule has been a bit more hectic, a bit more full. So I've been slowing down on some things. I have though made a goal of mine. So at this age range, a lot of our friends are deciding if we're going to grad school or apply for jobs, location. And I personally don't think I'm ready for any of those decisions.
Got you.
I don't know what I want to do with my life, I guess.
Who does really? Like,
actually, that's a lot of people don't know what they want to do. I spoke to some 40-year-olds and they're still like, I'll figure it out when I turn 50. We're not 40 or 30 or 50, so it's comforting to hear that, you know, people who are older than us still are figuring things out. But what I decided was, you know, whatever I do in life, I think I want music involved. So I invested into a piano course. I'm not sponsored by them, so I'm not going to say the name of the course.
Yeah, we're not sponsored yet, so we're not.
Yeah, we're not sponsored yet. But I, because my week has been busy, I haven't been able to invest as much time on it as much as I'd like to. But hopefully, you would hear the music progression getting better, and I will hopefully feel better about the piano.
Yeah,
we'll see. It's a year-long course, so we'll see about that.
That's dope. I think, yeah, I have a personal belief that, at least for myself, like, as long as I'm advancing in something, then that's good, you know. And for some reason, I feel like I'm low-key kind of addicted to the feeling of progression and growth, and so adapting skills and everything is always something that is fun for me. For me, in my own personal life, aside from YouTube, which I might integrate into YouTube, is I'm also studying personal training right now. And so I'm putting that on the side, so that way in the future, I could be out here really, like, if you guys follow my channel personally, you might notice I put some clips of myself doing different workouts and things on the channel, but I never created a full workout plan yet. Like as a hobby for myself, I'm always making experimental workout plans. Like honestly, based on anime characters. Like I'll be like, this is what I think Mario workout would be like if he was like a real person in real life, and so I'll experiment that and use it on myself, and kind of troubleshoot it and see which exercises work, which ones are a little bit more dangerous than not, or which one is like beginner or advanced. But I've kind of limited myself from putting down a channel because I'm still waiting to get more safety experience, so that way it's like I have the knowledge base to be like, okay, when I tell people to do this exercise, this is the thing they should keep in mind, like in terms of the form or like the dangers of a particular movement. Because sometimes we get so caught up in just watching something that we forget all about all the technical things we should be keeping in mind while doing that movement. And then you do the movement, and then, you know, it's like one of the things that like one of the things that I notice is like some people do their push-ups like this, while some people do their push-ups like this. So generally speaking, it's better to do push-ups like this than like this, because you put a lot more pressure on your shoulder in this area. So a lot of people might get like shoulder issues from doing a lot of push-ups like this, because it puts your shoulder in a very compromised position. But when you lock it in closer to your sides, you're a lot more safer.
Okay.
Oh man, you see, I'm on my way to becoming a personal trainer. You know what I'm saying? I'm on my way.
I've been doing 25 push-ups in the morning and at night. That was my steps into fitness, and now that's good to know.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I also wanted to, I guess, talk a little bit about before we get into the main meat and potatoes of this podcast. I wanted to talk a little bit about on that. That's so true. Like, you brought up the idea that like even someone in their 40s and older doesn't really know what they want to do with their life, or kind of have their life together. And that's kind of, it's weird how that's giving me such peace and reassurance and stuff, because I feel like a lot of us are chasing the feeling of having our life fully together. And I don't even know honestly what that looks like, what that feels like, like to have your life fully together. And I even, I would look at my parents and like how they handle things. So when I was younger, it was just like the assumption in my brain is just like, oh yeah, they got everything taken care of. But as I got older, I'll see, they're human too. See that the fact that like they have flaws and they're still trying to figure things out and don't get everything right all the time. And that's just life, man. Life is a journey of like learning and developing and growing and trying to figure things out, and hopefully living a life that you could be fulfilled and happy with.
Profound. Yeah. I kind of think about like Kevin Samuels. Like, he is 50, I believe, at that age.
Yeah.
Over these last 2 years, he kind of blew up on his YouTube channel, and I'm not saying he wasn't successful before that, but it's comforting to really understand that at 48, 49, he was able to reinvent himself in some ways.
Right.
Build a whole career on just speaking to people and the camera. So us being a 20-somethings, it kind of like, okay, it's possible. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
We're not, behind. We're not necessarily. We're just on life. We're on our path. Because you might look at Instagram and see like a 17-year-old driving a Ferrari, and you're looking at Instagram waiting for the bus, so you're like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not quite where I should or want to be. They got 5 Teslas for every day of the
that comparison, it's just so wild when you see somebody that's in your age group that's just out here just like, I feel like having some ramen today. All right, let me buy a ticket to Japan.
He's like, what? I thought you meant the top region for 3 cents. Like, I definitely get that. But with comparison, I feel like for me, watch the smooth transition right here.
Oh, snap.
Comparison are like, think about role models and
shit.
Or an anime. Like, I would like compare myself to anime characters. And it's a DJ. You seen that transition right there? Today. And I think I would compare myself to the struggles that Naruto going through. I'm like, okay, I had a bad week, but at least I'm not sitting on swing drinking spoiled milk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, so my man dr.griffs with the DJ skills just transitioned us right into our main topic, the main meat and potatoes. It is male role models in anime. So we're sticking with this series stretch on masculinity, but we're focusing a little bit more on male role models that we as like like nerds and like guys growing up in life, like think about different characters that we kind of looked up to and kind of was like kind of dive into it and kind of talk about why we looked up to them and stuff. So I have a couple characters that kind of come to mind. The first, if I was like really thinking to myself, like, what was the first male role model in anime that was pulled to, right? And I think there's always a feeling of like, okay, I want to be like that guy because he's so cool. And the first character that came up to me in terms of like, I want to be like that guy because he's so cool was Kakashi. But I think the male character that I, like me growing up, I felt like I got more value from was Might Guy. So, oh, I can't hear you right.
Guy.
Yeah, Might Guy.
My guy.
Yeah.
Why my guy?
Because Kakashi.
Why brow sensei? Let me know why.
I think it's because Kakashi is just like, he's aspirational in terms of like, he's just a cool person that seems like he's got it together, especially in the first part of the series before we got to Shippuden. But he always seemed like a character that's like, I got the skills, I got all these abilities, I got that past, I got that experience. He just seems like, when you think about ninja, Kakashi, right? And then you have, of course you have Itachi in terms of ninja, but when you think about like,
or Shino, like a young Shino, quiet, very not the bug ability.
Oh, okay.
Very quiet. Like,
okay, yeah.
Can't see the guy's face, eyes, like kind of.
Oh yeah.
Sorry to interject.
No, you're right. No, Shino's very, very ninja-like in terms of his persona. Like, it's kind of funny, like Naruto.
Orange, blue.
Like, where you hiding? Where you hiding?
Sasuke outfit fighting guard, the black.
Oh yeah.
Ninja-like.
Sakura, mad pink. Yeah, it's like, where you hiding? You know what I'm saying? Where you hiding?
Yeah, I don't do that.
But yeah, like Kakashi was a character that I looked up to for the sheer fact that he was cool. But Might Guy is a character that literally instilled the idea of like hard work and effort, and he always had like this level of like, it's like optimism to him. So it's like, it always felt like Might Guy was like, I felt like I would have a more productive upbringing as a ninja if I was training under Might Guy than under Kakashi, because honestly Kakashi was out here failing kids.
Right.
Yeah, so like it was only until we got to like our team, is it team 7, right? Team 7. Yeah, until we got to team 7 where Kakashi was like, all right, I'm going to guide these kids and stuff. But I guess Kakashi trained Sasuke, he did, and in Shippuden he did try to help teach Naruto about how to get the wind style abilities. But Might Guy.
Sakura one time.
Talked to Sakura one time, but Might Guy, man. Might Guy.
Trained Rock Lee and that's it.
Listen, Neji did not need training. But the way he was just motivational and giving energy, he was just like, he saw the distance, because I think most people like in Might Guy's position would see a character like Rock Lee's disadvantages as a ninja and be like, there's other jobs, there's other things you could be doing to help out the Leaf Village. You don't have to be a ninja. You can't do ninjutsu, you can't do genjutsu. Like, it's like, what, you're gonna try to box somebody that can shoot a fireball at you? I don't know. But Might Guy was like, yo, what you want to do? Like, I want to be a ninja. I want to be a splendid ninja too. And Might Guy was like, I bet this is what we're gonna do to get you there.
So in so I got the 5G shot today, so my I might be a little slurred. It's a C word, like
context.
Story. No, not context. It's like
canon.
In canon.
Mm-hmm.
In canon, Might Guy has a bad memory, right? Like he's forgetting people's faces. He never remembered Kisame. He forgot about Madara. Like in canon, he has a bad memory, right?
Yo, I don't even remember that. I don't remember him having a bad memory.
Yes, I'm pretty sure Might Guy has a horrible memory. It's like a running joke. So is it possible that Might Guy
forgot his
Rock Lee's dad and might have forgotten who his mom would be? They never show Rock Lee's,
Yeah, it is.
parents.
It is highly likely. That Rock Lee is Might Guy's son. It's highly likely, but you also got to think about it in terms of, if you remember how Rock Lee used to look before Might Guy. Do you remember his hair?
He looked like his granddad. He looked like a guy in that.
No, like I remember him wearing, yeah, like the hair kind of out and had a headband, and like he had like a white kind of thing, like a So
he didn't have the suit. He didn't have the green tracksuit, but he kind of looked like Guy's dad. Guy's dad had a different hairstyle. Just saying. It's highly
likely that rock. Now I'm talking about good male role models, maybe not good father figures.
Not Jing Freaks from.
Oh yeah, no. He can't be a role model in anything. He's not even there. You know, it's like you can't. What are you gonna model? But yeah, I personally like Might Guy because I always felt like he motivated me to be like, hey, even if you don't have talent or natural abilities, work on what you got, hone that, get better at that, and like keep pushing it, and you could be a splendid whatever you want to be. But I feel like Kakashi never really see Kakashi spend time with somebody he felt didn't already have that innate potential and skills to do something.
I seen him talk to Iruka one time.
Did he train Iruka?
He didn't train Iruka, but he gave him some positive advice. But I didn't really see him. Yeah, he didn't really.
Yeah, he didn't even spend even time with Sakura, bro.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? Or Tenten. Nah. Tenten?
Or Kurone after she tried to Genjutsu on Itachi.
Nah. It's like, Kakashi, we've only seen him invest time into people that he's like, Sasuke got the Sharingan, he should be able to learn the Chidori. Okay. You know, he's got that chakra base, he's got good genetics, we could work with him. Naruto, he got a nine-tailed fox, we gotta figure that out, we gotta control that. Gotta do something.
He's my teacher's son.
That he did not mention at all. He never mentioned that for a single second. That's kind of crazy.
That was crazy.
He's like, yeah, I knew your dad. What? No, never came up the conversation. Never. But yeah, that's just my guy for me. I like my guy.
I think, that like him as a parent.
Okay, him as a parent. I'm gonna talk about him as a parent.
Not like him as a parent. Goku definitely. I mean, he was the the gateway to anime. You know what I'm saying? Dragon Ball. At least for me, watching Goku, just like see him always just working out. Maybe he want to work out. Oh, I remember I saw Goku say 510 push-ups, 511. And he's like, okay, if I just keep trying harder and harder, I keep getting better and better. So it's kind of cool seeing that side of Goku. And he was a kind guy, not necessarily the smartest of people, but he was never using his powers to take advantage of people. Okay, and in some ways, the story is he kind of is saving people. In some ways, there's times in the tournament era with Majin Vegeta. She just blew up, a whole section of the crowd. Goku's like...
Goku did say no. Goku says, Vegeta, no! And then...
he probably could instant transmission Vegeta out. Different things he could have done.
Maybe he was thinking in his head that, nah, Vegeta ain't gonna do it. He ain't gonna do it.
I know it's unfair, because I think at one point there was a theme struggle, and Goku had to go out the way. But the point is, for the most part, Goku definitely does try to help people. So seeing Goku actively, you see him work to get better. You know what I'm saying? Versus a Yu-Gi-Oh, Yami is just good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You don't really see a training arc for Yu-Gi-Oh. You know what I'm saying? Yami's just the king of games.
Yeah.
So I think Goku number one was probably one of the biggest anime role models. But as I start watching more anime, I think Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I know it's kind of a curveball, but his aspiration to try to save his little brother. That was a really cool story, and just seeing how far he would go. The very first scene, spoiler alert, Edward Elric loses his right arm or left arm and right leg.
Yeah.
He loses his arm, his leg first. He loses one of his limbs first.
I think he loses his leg first.
Yeah.
And then he created the symbol on the armor with his other hand, and then the god or whatever the thing is took that arm.
Yes, and he was willing to lose his whole body. He said, "No, my younger brother is innocent. Like he didn't deserve any of this. I'll do anything to bring him back."
Mm-hmm.
So seeing him do that was a really powerful story. And I'm the youngest, so I'd like to think my older siblings would
like to think that.
I'd like to think that. Maybe that's why I like Itachi a lot. I'm like, okay, he did a lot for his little brother. But I don't know. I feel like I really like the self-sacrifice aspect of some anime male characters. I think it's so we see in anime. I don't know how self-sacrificial I am. I gotta really like you or be connected with you to me seeing myself, sacrifice myself for someone else. I really been through some stuff together. Like, I think that aspect of anime characters is really something honorable to look at, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, I found this weird thing. I feel like I might have told you this like off air, but I had this weird thing where a lot of my favorite characters are characters that have sacrificed themselves to protect someone else, or have like died in the middle of the series. So there's like, spoiler alert, but One Piece, Ace, like Ace, technically he didn't have to die.
No, he didn't.
But it's like Luffy was about to get hit by a volcanic punch, and then Ace came through. Kamina from Gurren Lagann, and then there's another character, but I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to spoil it yet.
Wait. Ace is one of your favorite characters?
Yeah. I like Ace's vibe. I wouldn't consider him like a good role model character, but I liked his vibe. I enjoyed watching him as a character. But it's like there's something kind of aspirational, at least that I find in myself, when I see a character, and it could be either male. Most I see the male, but if it happens to a female character, I think I'll feel the same way. But something about a character being like, I'm going to sacrifice myself to protect a village, or protect my people, or protect my loved ones. Something about seeing that, it just instantly puts that character on top tier status for me. I don't know if it's because I too would like the conviction to be like, the people I care about, I'm willing to like jump out. Because I think a lot of us may have that thought of like, if my girlfriend or the person I care about, is in trouble, I think all of us have like maybe that thought or thinking that we'll do it, but you never know until it actually happens.
Hopefully I'll never find out.
Me too. I don't want anybody to find out. I don't want that to be ever tested for anybody. But I know.
I might be failing that test. I go, oh, that's that. Kidding.
I'd be thinking about it in terms of like, whenever I see a character that's willing to make that sacrifice, I'm like, you really did it. You really did it, And it's just like, those are characters. Now, you don't have to die. You don't have to die to do it. But I think if a character shows the resolve that like, okay, these people, this person, this village, this concept or this philosophy or this ideal is so meaningful to protect, I'm willing to put my life on the line. You get a lot of points with me on that.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What do you think are some character traits that really stand out to you that you'd like to emulate more in your life?
From like anime or in general?
Yeah, from anime or I guess in general, sure.
That's a good question. I think the first one that I think I adopted like heavily, because literally in every shonen anime this is a thing. My power is I don't give up. You know, so I feel like when I was younger, I definitely adopted that into my head, in terms of like it just feels completely illogical to give up, especially on something that you really care about. It feels completely like, okay, you're gonna give up on it, but you're still gonna care about that thing. You know, it's like you're still gonna carry that with you, so might as well go after it, even if like all the odds and everything is against you. One thing that I would say one trait that I think I've been trying to adopt more and more of from anime, because when I really think about it logically, it makes sense, but when I first say it, it's not going to make sense when I first say it, but I'll try to explain it the best I can, guys. In Gorilla Gun, Kamina says, kick logic to the curb and do the impossible, right? And so for me, as a computer science student, logic is like, I literally spent 3 years structuring my brain to think about things logically, because that's what you have to do as a programmer. You need to make things logically consistent or the program won't work, right? And so built my career, and like, you know, that's where I'm going down in terms of like my main job right now is programming, right? So it's like breaking. So when I think about that quote saying like kick logic to the curb and do the impossible, I'm like, how can you kick logic to the curb to do that? But when you reverse engineer it, you need to not think about what's logical to first start to do something impossible. So like in real life terms, like the Wright brothers, you know, they looked at birds in the sky and was like, why they looking down on us like that? Like why they flying like that? We could fly too, right? And at that time, if you ask any normal person there, they'll be like, humans can't fly, that's not possible, we don't do that, what are you talking about, that's never been done before and everything. And then that's when it kind of clicked to me that logic is built off of past experimentation. Logic is built off of human reality. Exactly. Like we perceive reality based on what already exists, right? Like our smartphones 20 years ago was not logical. Like for us to be able to touch the screen, that was never done before.
Or a black Captain America.
Or a black Captain America. Look at my boy. Hold on, give him a shout out. Yo, look at him, bro. Not
years ago.
Not Black Falcon. Captain America, bro.
You know, before Obama, you know, the idea of a black president.
Exactly. Illogical. That was absolutely illogical, right? It's like
two black kids went to top tier university.
Illogical.
Physically impossible.
Black people being able to read. Impossible. Nani? How can it be? Right? It's like you're absolutely right. The perceived sense of reality is like people hold on to it, and they hold on to what already exists, right? So I find that my transition now, I gotta combine the feeling of not giving up with the feeling of kicking logic to the curb and do the impossible. I have to be willing to believe in something that doesn't exist yet in order to make the steps forward, because that's what programming fundamentally kind of is like you have to think about something. You say, for example, your client comes to you saying like, hey, I need you to build this function for me. That function doesn't exist yet. So you have to be like, okay, that function doesn't exist, but how can I make it exist? That's the purpose of logic. So it's like you have to go with like what you want to make or do first, and then you use logic to help you make it. But if you use logic as a means to tell you why you can't do it, then you're defeating the purpose of logic, because logic was a tool developed by humanity to help us to understand the world and also make the world better for us. At least that's my thoughts about it. So that's one thing I want to adopt more from anime is kick logic to the curb and do the impossible.
Logic is a tool created by humanity. That's different.
I might be wrong, you know, but that's how I feel like I'm taking it right now, you know?
Interesting. Yeah, I think I definitely like. And I think of characters in anime that I really like. I started binge watching clips of Death Note. I've probably seen that series several times.
Me too.
But there's something about L. I really like L's tactical ability. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I was like, what is he doing? You just increase your ideas, your ability to think by like 40% by doing that. Yeah, L, he definitely is weird. I don't know how to explain it. But L, just rewatching the clips, and I appreciate. Now this one's not kind of weird. I appreciate L's ability to take short losses. Take short L's. For example, like you're gonna let Lynn L. Taylor say that you're L. I'm looking for Kira, and in the second episode, this guy got killed. And I was like, well, he was a death row in me, anyways.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. That is cold, but I appreciate his calculation. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, as a person who wants to be a leader someday, you gotta make cold, calculated risk. Hopefully, it's never in a situation like that. But I think seeing situations or problems as objectively as possible, not getting your bias or emotions involved into them, is a skill I want to keep developing. Not to be some type of like, I'm apathetic. I can't, I don't have emotions, but
yeah,
I think a lot of conflict definitely is caused because people aren't really listening or objectively understanding where someone else is coming from. Just trying to train myself to be better at taking emotion out of it, just really fully listening to somebody before I talk back. I get the ability to just not emote and just be is kind of cool.
Yeah, like it's the value of like short-term loss versus long-term gain, right? So yeah, I definitely think that is that's a must if you want to be a leader in any capacity, because based on my observation of life right now, based on my life experience, is like to get anywhere, you kind of have to be willing to sacrifice things, and sometimes as small as sacrificing maybe
$275 for a Metro card.
Yeah, or it's like a trade-off, right? You could pay that $275 to get that Metro card, or you could jump over the railing and potentially get caught by a police officer on the other side. It's like you make that trade-off. It's like you're paying something some way, whatever decision you're making. So yeah, I think that's a good quality to have, especially if you want to be in a leadership position, because I just think about it, it's like, if that's long term for me, definitely the idea of owning my own company as well is something that I've talked with you personally about. I don't want to dive too much into it on the pod yet, but it's like I've been thinking about that in terms of like potential, like in the future I will have employees if all things work out well, and I might find myself in a situation where an employee is not doing their job and another person comes in that is capable of doing the job better, and I'll have to make that decision to be like, I gotta let this person go to do it. And I could be like really cool with the person, I could be like really like, oh, I think this person's a good person and like laughs and funny and everything, but if the person's not matching the long-term trajectory of what we're trying to do, then it's different. I also think that you're a little bit better wired to doing that because of your chess experience, though. Well, I know the rules of chess. I can make some moves, but the level of moves I could make compared to like Dr.griffs, my moves are like level 1. He's like level 55. So it's like, so it's very different.
And to some people, I'm level 1 and they're like 6,000. So everything's perspective. Everything is really relative, I guess. Right?
Yeah. But sometimes it's like, sometimes you might find yourself in a situation where you have to give up a few pawns, maybe a knight or a bishop, in order to win the game, right?
Yes, that's true. But I want to go back to what you just said. 2020 really reminded me how I'm kind of happy I'm not a boss.
Yeah.
We live in a generation where a lot of us, a lot of our generation, a lot of generations after us, are trying to be entrepreneurs and create their own business, create their own platform. We're doing that right now. And 2020, like seeing all these people close down left and right, it reminded me like I was fortunate to not have someone working for me, because I don't know if I would have the ability to be like, yo, you can't come into work tomorrow. Like, I don't know how you're gonna pay your rent, figure it out. I'll try unemployment.
Yeah, that's
so
tough.
I think 2020 kind of humbled me to be like, yo, it's okay to be an employee. It's okay to, take your time to build something up. Because once you have the title of boss or, CEO or whatever, leader, whatever,
leader, yeah.
Title, it comes with a lot of responsibility, and I was grateful that it wasn't some 60-year-old single mom of 5 working for me, and I'm like having to tell her, sorry, you can't come to work. I don't know how you can pay bills.
Yeah.
This is pros and cons to everything, and I'm not saying not to aspire to be a boss or a leader in some way, but I guess try to be an ethical leader, boss, or understand that it's a heavy is a king that holds the crown.
Yes. Yeah, I've heard that quote. Mm-hmm.
I think I start to understand it a little bit more.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and I feel like you kind of see that with how you kind of have your own life and you have your own goals, and maybe don't think about it in terms of employees, but maybe think about it in terms of feelings or habits you have. So, for example, there's this cool dude. I think he's maybe 2 years older than me, that goes to the gym I go to. And at times, we'll work out together, and he'll ask me for advice because I'm farther along in the journey of fitness compared to him. And he'll tell me yo, what should I eat and everything, and I'll tell him well, it's I'm not the best, I'm not a nutritionist or anything, but it's mainly about tracking your calories, knowing how much you're supposed to be taking in, and then if you want to lose weight at a healthy rate, cut out 300 to 500 calories out of your maintenance calories a day, and you should lose about a pound or 2 a week. And if you're working out, then you're going to be on a good track, if you just stay consistent on it. Right. But then there'll be times where he'll tell me about oh man, it's just so good, man. It's just the fried chicken and all the mac and cheese, and they're just telling me about all these things. And my thing is I don't really shame a person for not doing something that might be against their objectives, but I'm always be very aware and cognizant of the consequences of it. It's my goal is to get 6 packs for the summer and everything, right? But I do have a Kit Kat right here.
Trap out here?
No, just for me, man. I'm trying to be a main character out here, bro.
I bet not no Instagram pictures with the.
Listen.
Yeah, just for you. Thirst trap out here.
Hey, listen, man. I'm just trying to do it for me. I've always wanted a 6-pack. All the main characters, all the male role model main characters in anime had that 6-pack. So I'm trying to be like them, right? But every now and
had an 8-pack.
Who? Ichigo?
One of the least people didn't have work.
Son. Man, I don't even want to talk about Ichigo. Ichigo ain't no good robot whatsoever.
Sorry, I interjected.
Don't bring up Bleach. Don't bring up Bleach to me. But yeah, I have my goals, get 6-pack for the summer, but as you can see right here, I have a Kit Kat, right? So
we're not sponsored by that yet.
Not yet. But I have this, because I had a sweet tooth. But I'm very conscious of the consequence of eating this. I'm conscious of the amount of calories in this, 220. I'm very, I'm very conscious of eating this is not consistent with my goals, right? And it's like it's so funny to me. It's so funny. It used to annoy the heck out of me, but I've just come to accept, people for how they think about things and how they are. But a lot of people will almost kind of like forget the things that they do that are against their goals, and then when they come up against a wall and they're like, dang, why am I not reaching my goals yet? I'm trying my best, I'm doing my best, I'm doing my absolute hardest. They'd be like, well, did you remember that Kit Kat you ate on Sunday? Or did you remember that there was a whole week where you were just having pizza and chicken wings all the time and everything? So I think it's just about being aware of the consequences. And I think one of the consequences of being a good leader is that sometimes you're going to have to you're going to have to do things for the greater good, aka your company staying afloat. And sometimes that's putting people
off your whole plan.
Listen, because here's my thing with Itachi, my thing with Itachi about this is a complete side note, but whatever, is that I guess for me personally, I would prioritize my clan above the village,
above the greater good.
But it's like, what greater good is there without your whole family? You know what I mean?
He said the only good in the family. Luffy and his girlfriend, that's the only good in his family. Everyone else is susceptible to
that is crazy.
Or intense love.
Oh my gosh. But anyways, it's like sometimes you gotta make sacrifices like Itachi for the greater good. And if you're a boss, you gotta realize that the greater good is your company. The greater good is like what you're doing. Now, maybe you might need to think very carefully what businesses you go into, and if they're really valuable to you. Is like, if you're scamming people all the time, then maybe that's not the right job for you to go into. But if you're have a job if you're a leader of a company that is like, you help the homeless and you give them a place to stay, maybe firing a couple people because they're not doing their job right, or you just don't have enough income to support them, is what you gotta do. But I completely agree with Dr.Griffs on, like, it is 2020 was not, if you wanted to be that good kind of boss, 2020
you got tested.
You did get tested. Oh man. This talk about leadership made me think about a character we've come to before, but made me think about Irwin. And we've already talked about Irwin in depth in another video on the channel. But I kind of wanted, do you have any traits or things about Irwin from Attack on Titan that you feel like is adoptable for you in your pursuit of, like, your goals and ambitions?
Well, so we just said how the things we like about some of our favorite characters is they're willing for self-sacrifice, right? And I mentioned how he is full calculated, emotionless person. I feel like Irwin combines the two, like, in a beautiful manner.
Yeah.
He's shown instances of self-sacrifice when he lost his arm or his last valiant charge, where he sacrificed himself. But he also, throughout his rise, making calculated decisions to increase humanity's survival, but also increase his likeliness to find out the truth. I have fortunately not led a military platoon or led any type of thing where people's lives are at stake.
Yeah.
I've been in leadership roles, and I think in my leadership roles, I would try to take more of the weight of whatever's going on. Like, say, I would put myself in more meetings. I'm like, if they're younger, they need more time for school or getting in classes and that. Those, in some ways like that, I was a bit more self-sacrificial. Sometimes my own detriment. But I guess it all depends on what your goals of the organization or what you're working towards are.
Yeah.
I think one of my goals in that moment was to, increase group morale, happiness of the organization. So I was willing to take on more work so the organization could be better. Live a little bit better. So I think as a leader, you have to be either willing to listen to other people or intelligent.
Yes.
Because I don't think you want to like Luffy. You won't think of him as intelligent.
No.
Right. Maybe emotionally intelligent.
Oh, yeah, extremely.
To understand his crew and what to do in the right moments and everything like that. But you want to ask him for, what's the solution to 5 + 5?
Yeah.
You say me.
Like I would say Luffy is not a smart person whatsoever, but his ability to read people is so high level that he might say something or do something within an environment that most people will be like, yo, this gets awkward, but like everything will work out according to like how the reality that Luffy saw. He'd be like, nah, you messed up in some way, and I'm just gonna say this because I can see it like on you. I read it,
Yeah. It's like like a video game where they have like a little octagon that says you put XP towards intelligence, speed, stamina. I think in leader, Luffy, his emotional intelligence or
maxed out,
is off the charts.
Yeah, maxed out.
But like maybe logic is lacking.
Kick that to the curb. Who needs it?
Yes, but fortunately for Luffy, he's able to surround himself with smart people. He's pretty smart, right?
Yes.
Robin is smart. Chopper is smart and dumb at the same time, right?
Yeah. Well, he's like specific smart to like medicine.
Yeah. Yeah. He makes sure to surround himself in roles intentionally in places that he's lacking. He said he can't cook, he got a chef. He wants music, he got a musician. He needs someone to navigate the boat, he got a navigator.
Yeah.
So I think you gotta learn where your weaknesses are and surround yourself with people that make up for that. I don't know if I answered your question. Kind of on the rant.
No. That makes sense. You kind of touched on Erwin and then kind of went into some more quality stuff, I'll say. There was something you said. There's something you said that made me think about something. Oh yeah, you said like when you were a leader back in school and stuff. You said like sometimes you go to meetings and take time out of your schedule for the people that you're leading at the time. Yeah. But you also said it was kind of you said that at sometimes it was towards your own detriment, right? And I feel like what makes some of these male role models in anime that sacrifice themselves interesting is that I think for most people, for the average Joe or at least the average character in an anime, a top priority is your life. A top priority is like you being able to see tomorrow. But and I'm assuming there's some people in real life, some people that become Navy SEALs or go to the military and stuff.
Firefighters that volunteer.
Exactly.
A lot of firefighters volunteer. One of my coworkers, he's a volunteer firefighter. I'm like,
that is you're running into fire without getting paid for it?
Just volunteer. That's such a wild concept to me.
That's true hero right there.
Like 80% are like volunteer, and like 20% are actually like
80%. Like, is that metrics? Is that actual 80% of people volunteer?
In his department, but I think he says kind of like some places are half and half, but it's usually a good amount of people that are firefighters and volunteers.
Wow,
Okay. Wow, that's really crazy.
Wow, was he like previously a firefighter beforehand, or
he was intrigued by I guess he wanted to help people, but he also just like the challenge. There's a lot of different things. I don't want to get too much into why he chose it, but he was never a firefighter. He just like, hey, I'm free, I guess I can help. A lot of them are volunteer. That was really wild to me.
That is a wild thought, but that's true heroism. Yeah, that's true heroism. right there. To like, that's the true mark of a hero. Is like, I'm going to run into danger even if I'm not getting like paid or thanked for it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What? So, is it heroism if you like the thrill?
Ooh.
Like, what if? Not talking about my coworker, not talking about anybody I know, but like, okay, someone is constantly running Captain America.
Yes.
Right. He hops over a grenade to try to, a potential grenade, to try to save everybody around him, right?
Yes.
If you see him constantly doing stuff like that, does that make him a hero, or does that make him not really value his life that as much? You know what I'm saying? Or maybe he's just looking for a way out. How do you necessarily measure someone's actions versus, I guess, the consequences? Like, how do you know someone's actions are pure? What makes someone the main question I'm trying to ask.
Oh, I got you. That is actually a very interesting question, because I was thinking about the idea that perhaps we have to think about heroism in terms of the action itself, right? Because you could be a hero, right, or have a hero mindset, but if you actually don't go out of your way to save anybody, you can't prove that you're a hero, right? But there are instances in fiction and in life where people go out of their way to help people because they know that they will get something in return for it. So that is actually a really good question, man. And it's actually funny. I watched.
Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
I said it's funny because I literally just watched, like 2 days ago, I watched Captain America: The First Adventure, and I watched Winter Soldier. Yeah, just 2 days ago, because I was in the mood for some Marvel movies, and I was like, let me rewatch Captain America. So
we're not sponsored by this movie.
Nope.
We're only sponsored by ourselves currently. But like, you don't gotta look to Hollywood to see stuff like that. Like, look on Instagram. You know, I donated such and such to something. Here's a picture of me doing it. Here's a receipt of the donation. Here's a video of me giving this homeless guy a Chipotle bowl. Here's a video of this, a video of that. The act itself is cool.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure they benefit from it. But you know what I'm saying? I
get exactly what you're saying. It's like, I think if you're doing it for the ulterior motive, right? Because I think, okay, here's my thought about it now, is that I think true heroism comes when you have no guarantee or no thought of getting anything in return for what you're doing. I think that is true heroism, because, you know, someone can argue and say that doctors and medical professionals are heroes. You know, they save people's lives on a daily basis. Now, would they still be doing that profession if they weren't being paid?
They got paid the same amount as like a fry cook somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You make 20K for locking a door versus doing open heart surgery. How many doctors will there be? Interesting question to ask.
Interesting question. And I can honestly say, for me, the amount of school you have to go through.
Okay. I guess that's not a fair comparison. But imagine if you eliminate debt, right?
Okay.
And there was a base rate for everybody. You get paid the same amount to, I don't know, wash dishes as you do to do open heart surgery. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see which careers would have the most amount of people with it.
Yeah, I think it would be very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, that's a hard sell for me, man. That's a hard sell for me. Yeah. And it's one of those things that I'm kind of glad that we kind of live in a society that's like, hey, you know, this position is very valuable to society, so it should be elevated or financially compensated in a certain way. So that's good. But it's like, do you need to be a hero to save people? No. But you need to be able to do, I think you need to have the willingness to do something for nothing, or in order to be classified as a hero. You gotta be like, if I'm not getting paid for this, then am I going to do it or not? You know.
And payment could be in terms of like adoration, like likes.
Exactly.
Yo, that guy's a good guy because like I know that guy. He does such and such on the weekend.
A lot of people get fulfillment from that. A lot of people get fulfillment from like their peers or society telling them, "Hey, you're doing such a great job." It's like, I feel like it charges people up when they get that. You know.
I think true acts of heroism. It's kind of like what you said, but if you think about like New York City. And there's like a pregnant lady.
See something, say nothing.
At the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
And there's like some random person come out of nowhere, pick up the stroller, bring it down, just disappear into the darkness. Disappear into the train station.
Yeah.
There is no real. Hey, the pregnant lady not gonna pay you for that.
True.
Not gonna remember who you are. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably not even like attracted to the person. You just see like, oh, they need help. Okay.
Yeah.
And you could have went about your business, but this like anonymous act that has no type of kickback to you, meaning either money or likes or
exactly
name being put somewhere like, oh yeah, they do this.
Yeah.
I think those are really good acts of heroism.
Yeah,
I guess it's really just simple things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that is the thing that's like, I completely agree with you, especially in a place like New York City, where it's like the motto is "see something, say nothing." Yeah. When you see someone do that, you're like, man, because everyone's busy, everyone's got a place to go, everyone's got point A to point B. No one just. Well, it's getting warmer now, but usually no one is like just hanging out on the street, just hanging out for whatever. So when you see something like that, it's like, man, but it's really interesting. I think it's because like maybe for me, I've always, of course, I'm a big hero fan. I love, obviously, One Punch Man right here. This is a Marvel poster right here. Got All Might Chiller right there. Deadpool. Like, I'm a big hero fan. So I love the idea of characters that just go their way to like help people, save people. But we do live in kind of like we live in a capitalistic society, where it's like everything is like product consumer-esque. Most people don't do things for like nothing anymore, so it's almost hard for me to wrap my head around, because some could say like Batman's a hero, right? But is like Batman can afford to be a hero, right? Versus like someone like Spider-Man. So I would say Spider-Man technically is, since he's going out of his way more and he's actually endangering his studies, and like it's like I feel like there's a lot more risks associated with being a hero for Spider-Man in terms of his daily life comparatively to like someone like Batman.
I would say so. I guess this goes down to the psychology of the actual person. I feel like what Batman's doing, there's definitely heroic elements to it, but I think more of it is therapy and revenge to him than like actually trying to be a hero. If that makes sense. There was a post I saw where they were like, so Bruce Wayne is a billionaire, right? Multi-billionaire. Why isn't he really funding a lot of different things that will preemptively stop crime? Maybe maybe he does in like the comics, but I feel like there's not enough highlight of Bruce Wayne, funding, schools or I'm pretty sure he does. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
I feel like if he's more proactive in preventing crime, he wouldn't have to be breaking someone back 5 different ways that they sold an ounce of illegal.
That's true facts. That's true facts. Hold on. I want you to degrade my transition real quick. All right, you ready for this? Ready? All right. Yeah, it's interesting, like, because Batman has the financial capital to see. Okay, I just beat up this dude for selling crack on the street. Mm-hmm. Why is crack being sold on the street? Who's distributing crack? Why do people buy it? Like, what's the purpose of crack for people, right? And so Batman has the financial power to stop the crime at its source, right? And this is actually something that goes to the same lines as the series of My Hero Academia, right? So
okay, that was smooth.
Oh, you like that? Okay.
We're gonna make a transition so I can let y'all know what we want y'all know.
Thank you.
That's what you said.
Yeah. So My Hero Academia is a story based on like a hero-based society, a society where. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. But you have a society of people. You have a society of people that, like, you know, accept this reality of like, oh, we got heroes and we have villains here. But what the series does a good job of, kind of slowly, even if you're watching anime, you'll kind of see instances of this. But for my manga readers, you already know. I won't go into any spoilers or anything like that. But My Hero Academia does a good job of showing the cracks in a hero-based society where, you know, you have these heroes that, you know, they do a good job of shutting down the villains, but they don't do a good job of preventing the creation of villains, where villains are individuals that, in most cases, in My Hero Academia, the heroes that are highlighted, or the main baddies of whatever season or arc it is, are always villains that kind of have that Thanos mentality, where they're like, because this horrible atrocity happened to me, this is why I have to do this. You know, you see that in like Gentle. You see that in you're gonna see that a little bit more when we dive a little bit more into Shigaraki and other characters. All for One is just bad altogether. Like this, based on what we've seen so far for All for One is just bad. But in terms of hero-based society, is like they do a good job of like elevating heroes, and like heroes are also like, you know, heroism is like a legit job you could get paid for in My Hero Academia. But it's like they don't do a good job of preventing what causes people to become villains. You know, and, you know, All Might was a character that I was going to bring up too when it comes to anime male role models, mainly because I think there's a part of me that like I do romanticize his power. Like, I do romanticize the ability to just, you say you're going to do something, you say you're going to protect people, and you actually have the power to do it. So there is an aspect of being entranced by how powerful he is as a character. But there are instances in My Hero Academia, especially in season 1, where we see, you know, All Might actually be like a whole human being, where he's like, where, you know, like, I think this happened either episode 1 or 2. I think episode 2, where Deku gets did you watch My Hero Academia season?
Yeah, I'm caught up to with the anime.
Okay, cool. So My Hero Academia season 1, we have Deku running to save Bakugo. You know, save Bakugo getting attacked by the slime demon, the slime villain, right? And I love how they just pan to All Might, you know, just looking at this kid without powers run to go save his friend, and All Might just being like, well, I ain't shit then, obviously. You know, he's like, if this kid without powers can't do this, I could. You know, he just goes and does it. And I love how My Hero Academia kind of puts a lot of humanization in terms of some of the characters, with Kirishima, with All Might, obviously, and a lot of the characters you kind of see like, oh shit, like they're not all crazy like Deku, like I'm just gonna run in there without thinking about the consequences, like break my arm to the leg type stuff. But it's like there's characters that actually evaluate the consequences of their actions, evaluate like, oh snap, I could really die here, or oh snap, this is a really dangerous situation, and they'd be like, you know what, I'm still gonna go ahead and do it. You know, even I think that's even more encouraging and more inspirational when you are not ignorantly jumping into a situation and do something cool, but when you actually are conscious enough that like, oh snap, I could really die or really lose something here, and you're like, let's do it.
I agree. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like Spider-Man 2.
Which Spider-Man 2? The very first?
Yeah, Tobey Maguire.
Okay.
When he lost his powers, and he's kind of cool with that, got hit to that and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's walking down the block, he's like enjoying his life. He looks to the right, saw someone get jumped in the alley. That guy might have been Joker in the future. He's walking by, saw someone get jumped. Yikes!
Yikes!
He turned away and just kept walking. You know, he was defeated by that. I think like later that day, there's a house burning. Because there's always a house burning in every Spider-Man movie somehow. And he runs into the building without his powers, and you know, there's an arm saying there's a girl in there. And he ran to the building that had his powers. He made it burn down. That was a really cool heroic moment of Peter Parker. I'll be honest with you, Peter Parker Spider-Man was like my favorite superhero growing up.
I could see that, man.
I was hyped looking forward to that PS4 game when it first dropped. I was like really hyped. That was like one game I looked forward to for a long time.
Yo, the gameplay just hits, man. Yo, they got to swing it down perfect.
Exactly. When the PS6 is available and finally for PS5.
When you can find the PS5, when you can actually find one.
Yeah, we can find the PS5 when PS6 is available. I look forward to playing, you know, Spider-Man 2 or 3. You know, the PS5 version have. What I always was found interesting about Peter Parker, like you really Spider-Man, but you living on welfare, you living on like I don't understand how. And
he's smart too. Like
he's smart. He like now I'm 20 something. It hits different watching Peter Parker be Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Be like, yo, rent is due. You know, I gotta sell some plasma, sell some blood, like figure good stuff out.
Yeah.
But he can't even do that because he got radioactive blood. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like he goes to a self-deprecating job. He takes pictures of himself. J. Jonah Jameson is talking smash crap about Spider-Man. He signed them the pictures. That gotta eat at him.
Yeah.
That really gotta eat at you.
And he's like, why did you want to be a journalist? Why did you want to be a photographer in the first place? He's so technically smart. Like, I'm like, why not just study stocks for like a good month, Peter Parker?
That's the only thing that's available to him. And again, the stocks guy has some type of money.
I feel like...
And how you gonna pay rent?
I feel...
no money to pay rent. How you gonna buy a stock?
Hold on. Let's think about this. Uber Eats from Spider-Man?
That ain't exist back in
Yeah, you're right.
What happens when he's out here swinging pizza around? Pizza gets all disheveled and destroyed.
You're right.
Like a 1-star rating, no one's gonna hire him. He can't even do that. Or he's swinging by with a pizza. Tombstone breaking into a place, or you know, Scorpion breaking into some place.
You gotta drop the pizza down. Yeah. The pizza gonna get cold by the time it gets there.
Exactly. He is a really good hero, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Great power and great responsibility. After that speech, and you know, Uncle Ben got, he was like, yo, like, I feel like what he does is definitely out of like redemption. He's trying to get redemption for, and he's trying to get forgiveness. He's trying to forgive himself for not being there for Uncle Ben. You know letting that guy run away. So that's part of the main scope of how he gets into a lot of the into his heroics. But it doesn't take away from him saving people.
Oh yeah, no, does not.
It's just interesting to see why he saved them.
Yeah.
Bill Gates came up to me and was like, gave me $10,000 because he's trying to hit a tax write-off, or he's trying to look good for giving money to the poor. You know that? I'm gonna take $10,000. I'm like, dang, he gave it out out of love, out of
Yeah.
a nice Instagram picture. But I'm still gonna take it.
Yeah, of course. Come on.
I said, you want to take another picture? Like, hold on, you trying to get another?
How many angles you looking for? How many angles?
Yeah, like, don't let me figure it out. So I think gets. I'm not trying to belittle the good that is happening.
Yeah.
That someone does.
Yeah.
Why they're doing it.
Yeah. It's
like Death Note. I could argue Kira is doing.
Hey, listen. Short-term losses, long-term gain. He was pursuing that long-term gain.
Yeah, like I could argue that war went down, crime went down.
Facts.
People were less likely to think about doing crime.
Yes, that's a fact.
And a lot of the people he got were criminal, were like bad criminals. Initially, I think he started getting kind of, you jaywalked one time. Like I get how it gets slippery so quickly. What do y'all think? And that was a seamless transition. That was.
Yeah, it was. I didn't even peep it. I didn't even evaluate it.
That's the DJ life. You have to do a transition, and after it sits and marinates, you're like, oh crap. How did he even get here?
I didn't even feel this. I didn't even feel it. I didn't even feel the song change. I didn't even feel it.
Exactly. That's my greatest ability as a DJ. You know what I'm saying?
Guys, in the comment section down below, did you guys realize when he transitioned from talking about Spider-Man to Death Note? How did that happen?
Sorry about that. Exactly what you were saying earlier.
Dang, wow. I got so lost in the transition that I felt like I just saw a magic trick. Oh man. Yeah, because a lot of people had to get got when it came to light, because he considered you trying to find him as a crime. You're protecting criminals, basically, is what he's thinking. Like, you trying to take me out when I'm trying to take out pure evil. What good person would protect pure evil? Not a good person. Delete.
True. And if you look at L, he just wanted to solve the case. You know what I'm saying? And the consequence of him solving the case is a serial killer with a notebook would disappear. Well,
yeah.
Initially, he wasn't really as concerned about the lives impacted or who will die. I'm not to say that he was completely emotionless about that, but he was willing to let people die throughout the series. And you question, okay, Light initially had a good vision of what he was trying to do. He definitely got lost in the sauce, lost in the emotion of I'm a genius. Before I had the notebook, this notebook was given to me because I'm a genius, so what I'm doing is right. He had ego and all that eating at him.
Yeah.
L had ego about trying to figure out this case. He's like, I solved all my cases. I'm gonna solve this one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to solve this case. You know what I'm saying? And the consequences of solving that case is that serial killer will be off the streets.
Yeah.
But things go back to how they used to be. You know what I'm saying? So how things go back to how they used to be. I don't know.
Yeah, because the question is how strict is Light's L's personal morality, right? Because in the series, there's always a focus on Light. L is doing this not necessarily because he truly believes it's the right thing to do, but because he above all prioritizes the law. He prioritizes what the law has established, and that's what we're gonna do. And I think there's also a major like you said, a major ego connection of him being like, yo, I pick up this case, I'll take this case, I gotta solve it now that I took it. It's my case.
He prioritizes the law?
I think so, because I remember him I remember, I don't remember exactly how it is, but I remember a line of him saying like, I think it was on the news where he was like basically saying like, Kira, dang, I didn't think you would actually kill him. Like, wow, like I don't even know how you did that, but I'm going to catch you. What you're doing is against the law. It's like you can't take justice into your own hands. That's why we have government and institutions for that, right? Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section down below, guys, but I do, like, all my memories about L is like I never thought of him as like being this super self-righteous person that believed he knew what was right or wrong, you know. Especially
share his cake one time.
Say what?
He tried to share his cake one time.
You know.
Candy with that.
You know, it's like, you know, he's the type of person, he literally invades people's privacies. You know, he's willing to the life of a criminal. He doesn't value that much either, because he definitely used that criminal as a stand-in for him. So it's actually interesting if L's priorities were in line with Kira's, and if they worked together, that would have been a dangerous world right there.
I mean, you saw what happened when L was working together with Light. After, you know, Light gave all his memories of the Death Note.
Yeah.
They're working together and they're making crazy connections to who was what was who, leading up to. I just rewatched the scene. That's why.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's probably been a couple years since you watched Death Note, right?
Yeah, a couple years.
Yeah. So, when they started working together, Light and L, not Kira pretending to be Light, they made crazy advances into the case and was able to get revealed that Shinigami exists and that there's a thing on the Death. Yeah. Them just working together. Unfortunately for L, that was Kira's plan to turn back into Light. It went all downhill from there. In that reunion with Kira with the notebook, now you have evidence saying, hey, no, like, I was in captivity for 50 days. People still were dying. Yeah. Rule that says if you haven't written in 13 days, then.
And he literally made up that rule too.
Yo. Light was really out here doing stuff. And L, like, I wouldn't say he's. I do think he definitely needs boundaries. I think he said that thing about justice and law were coming after you and you'd be locked up, because that's what the public would like to hear. I didn't have a strategic thing to say to get the public on his side. No? Yeah. I feel like he doesn't really care about actually seeing Kira or Light locked up. He cares more so about just solving the case. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah. But I'm gonna transition from Light into, not a smooth transition at all, but I'm gonna transition from Light into, when I think about Light, right, and you think about the Death Note, the Death Note is a very OP tool, right? It's a very OP powerful tool. And this is something I actually wanted to talk to you a little bit about in this discussion, is, so for me, I always found characters like Kakashi, characters like All Might, and most recently characters like in Jujutsu Kaisen named Gojo. Something about OP characters is just aspirational. Like when you see them do something and they completely one-sided victory their opponents, there's something very entrancing and desirable about that. And I always, so like when I was thinking about male role models, like characters that are just OP just to be OP and like devastate things and like are super powerful, that came to mind. But I never thought of that. I never thought of it as being like, am I just looking up to them because they're powerful, or, you know, it's like there's just something extra about them. So I wanted to get your opinion on like how you feel about like OP characters, right? Because one could argue that Itachi's OP, right? But would Well, there's different levels of OP. There's some characters that could probably mollywop Itachi, probably high difficulty.
Yeah. I was thinking about him having like ninja disease.
Right. Yeah.
And being blind, but throughout all that.
Yeah. Like Itachi in his prime, right? So like, would you still think Itachi is aspirational and cool if he just had his mentality but not his OPness? Or do you have to be OP? You know what I mean?
I think the coolest thing about Itachi is his intellect and how he views the world. Itachi not OP is just a slightly smarter Shikamaru.
Right. Yes.
And Shikamaru was pretty cool. Like you wouldn't count on Shikamaru to like. Well, you wouldn't count on him to win a fight because of his intelligence.
Yes.
I think about it, I appreciate these intelligent characters because I played chess growing up. I'm not the smartest guy in chess, so I'm not the smartest guy in the room either.
He's level 55, guys. Level 55. I'm level 1. So that kind of tells you.
Even on my chess team, when I was on it, I was not the best player at all. When I was younger, like elementary school, I was probably like top 3. But when I got to like high school, I was like top 6 on the 6-person team.
At least you're a top something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was definitely top 10 out of 6 people on my team.
Okay.
So I guess that's why I'm pretty humble about my chess experience. Like I was literally with some masters in chess, like that's the actual title. Like you're a master. I was not a master. But that was who was on my team.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I like OP characters in anime when you see them get to it.
When they get to become OP.
Like you see the struggle or the stuff they put in to become OP. Versus they just awaken and they have power. I think that's cool for like the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
How they got powered, or to see like the gap between the protagonist and who they aspire to be like. But I like when animes reveal how that OP character got there. You know
Yes.
I think that's important for them to really sell the OP. Even in One Punch Man, even though the explanation is really
100 push-ups, 100 squats.
Yeah, but it's crazy. But it's cool seeing Saitama with the hair, doing the 100 push-ups, sleeping in the cold winter and a hot summer, seeing the struggle. It's cool seeing the struggle. And then you can appreciate the OP-ness. That's not OP.
One Punch Man.
Miss.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess I'm not sure about that, but the seeing the struggle is important. Well, that Like I think of Alucard in Hellsing. Hellsing Ultimate, have you seen that?
What? I haven't watched the whole series yet, but 2 to 3 episodes. I have that in my brain. It's locked in there.
Okay. Well, he's a character that is the strongest in the verse.
Yes.
And what's cool about him is his struggle with his strength. He's looking for someone to self-delete him. And he's actively doing that versus a Kaido, like I said last.
Right. Yeah.
Kaido isn't really about that life. Whereas Alucard, he's looking for to have a great fight, to have a great someone to actually end him of his immortality. When you see, super strong characters that struggle with their strength, I think that's a cool depiction in show or TV. Like Smallville. You see Smallville?
I've seen season 1 of Smallville, but I know it's about Superman growing up as a kid. Yeah.
And seeing him struggle with his strength, like, I can't really date a chick because I might wake up one night. Or Wolverine is a better example. He would have like
remember that?
In the middle of the night and called up his bed. I don't know. I like seeing the characters struggle with their strength. Okay. If they're gonna be OP, I want to see some type of struggle.
So like either a struggle to become OP or a struggle with the fact they're OP.
Yes.
But there's always got to be, and I feel that way as well. Is like I can't consciously put a finger on it, but I feel that way in terms of I admire a character that goes through the struggle one way or another. Right? Maybe because in our own lives we could kind of see the struggle we're going through, and that's how we could create that connection with that character, right? Yeah, even you haven't watched Jujutsu Kaisen yet, right? Okay.
How many episodes is it right now?
It's finished. Season 1's finished. 24.
Where's it on?
Crunchyroll. I'm sure someone can find it somewhere. You know what I mean?
Is the English dub good? Or you just watch English dub? Okay.
You watch a dub, my guy?
Alright, yo, let's not act like.
Whoa! Don't. Whoa!
There's good dubs out there.
What's
phenomenal dub? Yu Yu Hakusho phenomenal dub. Dragon Ball Z. You gonna watch the sub of Dragon Ball Z? You not gonna watch some of it. Goku-san. There's good dubs out here, y'all.
Why you
guys read the manga? Sometimes I just want to watch the anime.
Why you get so defensive for? Relax, bro.
I get kind of tired of this division dub and stuff. Like, yo, sometimes it's cool just watch. Like, you read the manga, I read the manga. I want to just watch anime sometimes.
Yo, listen. You just brought the exceptions to the rule. Like, you just named every exception to the rule. Name another one.
The Boondocks.
Nah, you can't do that. Nah.
Avatar. I don't know. Pokemon. That was good dub. I don't know the Japanese version of Pokemon sound like.
Dang, yo, this guy's really bringing up all the
Trigun. I don't know what. Attack on Titan, kind of.
No, don't even bring up Attack on Titan. Well, to be honest, I never heard the dub for Attack on Titan. I've only looked
It's really not terrible. It's really not terrible.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If you watched the subbed, could you go back to the dub?
I think. Well, it depends on who you're watching with. If you're watching by yourself.
Okay.
I think for like dub to sub, that transition right there, you might need like a couple episodes for it to really sit in. Like, okay, I'm watching this now. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. Because when I recommend anime to people that don't watch anime, I'm thinking in terms of, okay, let me find a dubbed version.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking in terms of, like, I would recommend Death Note. Death Note's a good starter anime for most people.
Yeah, anybody, really.
Yeah.
25 episodes or
Yeah.
Episode after that.
Yeah, yeah, he kind of falls off.
Ichigo, that was a good dub. Wasn't that a good dub? Bleach.
If you want to see some action, yeah, it was good. Okay. I'm still team sub.
Itachi's voice in dub.
You know how many times I've heard his voice in dub? That same voice actor.
He's Alucard as well. I think his name. It's like.
All I know is that if I hear his voice, I know exactly who it is.
Yeah, he has a nice voice. You know what I'm saying?
He do, but my thing with subs is like, yo, they keep rotating the same.
Earlier, Mike Guy, dub. That works.
It do.
Is that your role model?
Wow! Don't go full circle on me like this. Don't go full circle on me like this. I'm spitting.
Thank you for coming to episode 4.
Oh my gosh, man! Is it? I think it's episode 5. Well, everyone will probably write down here. Everyone will kind of see the number of it, and you know.
Yeah, we'll go from there.
Yeah, everyone will know what it is. Dang, I can't believe you actually made a decent argument. I'm not gonna say good argument, a decent argument for watching dub. Because the only time I will watch dub is like if I'm busy doing something.
Fair.
Like if I need to like, you know, vacuum my room or like, you know, like press my clothes.
Yeah.
And I feel like watching an episode of anime, I'll watch a dub. But it's really hard for me to get into a dub of an anime if I already started off watching the sub.
Understandable.
Yeah.
When I heard Goku voice sub like Dragon Ball Super, when I heard
yeah, it's nasty.
the sub of Goku's voice, I said, why does he sound like that?
Yeah, it's nasty.
But they chose, I think the dub of Dragon Ball Super has the same Goku voice we know from since we were kids.
Yeah, that's also another. That's a discussion for a different day, but it's like more technical. Like I see it more specifically with Dragon Ball, is that because there's cultural differences from Western to Eastern. There's a lot of like, even in Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z, there's a lot of word choices and dialogue choices in the sub that was taken out and switched out in the dub. You know, it's like there's in
bio versus Believe It.
Like what's got the bio mean? Doesn't mean Believe It as well.
I wasn't Japanese. Language is not my skill at all. That's not my skill set.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's just something I noticed. Like even in Dragon Ball Super, there's like a line in the movie where Goku's like he in the sub he talks more like I'm fighting for myself, like I'm enjoying this battle, I won't let you defeat me. But then in the dub it goes like I won't let you destroy my world. So they made Goku sound more heroic than in the sub he actually is intended to be. Yeah,
I can see that.
So in terms of character, I think Goku is a great male role model if you're looking at the dub. But if you're looking at the sub, like that. This episode is brought to you by Smooth Transitions. But yeah, I think in the dub, I think Goku is a great role model because it just maybe it's because we're Western, and so maybe because a lot of the things that we think is what it means to be a good person in a Western context is integrated into Goku's character when he talks in the English dub. But if you look at the sub of Dragon Ball, Goku's very self-centered. He's still a decent person. He's nowhere means evil, but he's very self-centered. Like he was willing to risk the fate of every universe to have a tournament in Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, he was consistent.
He's consistent. Yeah, I'm not annoyed by his character, but I just, it's like, if you're looking for life advice, get it from dubbed Goku, not subbed Goku. Yeah, like in dub Goku is like enemy, ally of justice, enemy to you, or something. Like yeah, he'll say it like something like that. But like that's nowhere in the sub though. That's nowhere in the sub. Like that's strictly the dub. Strictly the dub. Is there any other characters that kind of come to mind for you that you want to dive into?
In terms of positive or role models or character traits I like from a character. Oh, that's one thing I want to say. I think I'm the attributes about me that I'm very stubborn, or and like I feel like also your closest friends, or like you rival with them about something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like if you don't have like a certain rivalry with your friend, I feel like your closest friends, you have some type of rivalry with them.
Yeah.
Even if it's unrealistic. Like I have a friend of mine who's wearing like a blue teal shirt to be like, yo, I can beat you in Naruto. I'm gonna start war. I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? That's not happening.
Yeah.
So I think that's a constant thing I see in anime a lot. It's the whole other conversation about like rivalry and friendship and all that.
Oh wait, does this shirt come off as teal? on the camera.
Kind of going like a blue teal.
Oh shit! This is
seawater.
Hold on,
Jamaican Ocean.
let me turn off the light real quick. It kind of green, right? No, it's still teal to you?
The seawater or sea green, like that's there.
Wow.
Kind of like your average consumer, tealish kind of.
That's what I'll man, I'm not gonna go. I was gonna send you a whole picture of it, but it's like
greenish color. But like, what I was gonna say earlier was, I was a stubborn kid growing up.
Mhm.
I used to race buses. Now my sister, like,
hold on. Side note, guys. Side note. Dr.gr is fast. He's a fast guy. He's very fast. He can run. So I'm not saying he could outrun a bus, but he could definitely, if a bus goes down a block and it's a red light, he could definitely catch that bus. You know.
I think for me, my speed wasn't never. I never really thought I was a fast person. Like, you know, when animated with like S rating.
Bro, you ran a mile. You ran a mile in 5 minutes.
Oh, it's like 5 minutes. Like 9:40. Me, I wasn't fast. There's always kids faster than me.
Okay.
That wasn't my skill. I would work harder to get faster.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like my hard-headedness, stubbornness, even when I had like more prominent asthma. Like, you might be faster than me, but I can outrun you. I will run you down until you get tired.
Gotcha.
So to be like an S-rated speedster in my middle school, I was like a B plus, maybe an A, low A minus. This guy's an S.
Gotcha.
What I would do, when we're playing like tag or virtual tag, I'd run after him. I keep running. He sprint. You know, like back in the caveman days, there's gazelles out there frolicking in the field.
Mm-hmm.
The gazelle is faster than
of course, obviously.
But the human,
oh, keep chasing him down.
You know, like, will pounce, keep running. You know, like, can you stop chasing me? And at one point, they get tired and just, you know.
Yeah, true.
That's my skill set.
Okay. You'll keep going.
Stubborn, and I will try to outlast whoever I'm in competition with. And I would like also make competitors people who I shouldn't be competing with. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I was substitute teaching, and a student. So I'm a substitute teacher. There's a student. I was showing him my music. I was like, yeah, you know, I make some music. Here's my beat. And he was like, oh, this is cool. And then he showed me his beat that he was working on. And I was like,
yo, was it fire though? Was it fire?
It was.
Oh, damn.
I just started back then, but he hit me with some like 20-hit combo, and I just threw a jab. I was like, oh, word.
Yo, he really said that's cool? That's what he said?
He's like, yeah. He might have said, oh, that's cute. So ever since that day, I was like, okay, I remember that. I remember that. I'm gonna build. You know what I'm saying? So I think I definitely seeing characters like Naruto or different characters that just be like, oh, I'm remember that. I'm gonna be sitting on a swing now drinking sour milk, but one day I'm gonna be Hokage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
I think that people goal aspirations kind of stuck with me.
Yeah, like I definitely take power in the rivalry too. I definitely take a lot of power and energy from it, you know, because some days when you're just working off yourself, when you're just working off like the will and desire inside you, some days you be forgetting, you know, some days you be forgetting like, oh yeah, I want to create this thing, oh yeah, I want to build this body the way I want to build it. And some days you're just like, you know what, I'm just going to order pizza and just marathon do a show on Netflix and forget everything else. And then, you know, that might go for a few days and then you're like, oh shit, you know. But when you have that rival, or when you have multiple rivals that you're like, is like you make a habit of checking in on them, you know, you make a habit of, you know, checking in on like, you know, if like someone, you know, just put out a new mix on YouTube and you're just like, damn, let me get the editing, you know. It's like you get into that vibe of like you check in. I think rivals help keep us accountable to ourselves, you know. I don't think you should have a rival for a goal you have no interest in, right?
Yeah.
But I think like when you generally find a rival that is like they keep you like consistent, they keep you like accountable, being like, hey, listen, are you sure you want to slack off today? Because your competition ain't, you know.
Two things I want to say. Goku would not be as strong as he is today without the Vegeta. You know what I'm saying? He just keeps going back and forth, like
that's a whole fact.
Trying to get stronger. The second thing, you know how I started doing 25 push-ups, like before I go to sleep in the morning. There's a friend I had back in high school. I used to spar with him.
Oh, like slap boxing?
Like we were trying to think we're doing martial arts.
Oh, okay.
Chicken or like that.
Okay.
I've been following him on Instagram, and he started going on this like fitness, like alphabet, like A doing the arm bar, B doing like A through Z. And I've seen him. I used to spar with him.
Wow.
Now,
like arm bar? You mean like in terms of grappling?
Like different workout, like different.
Oh, okay. Got you.
He's going A through Z. I think he's on like. He's on V as the point of this video. He's been consistent. Now I was like, yo, man, I just powered this guy. Like, now I'm out here trying to eat some Oreos. And
man, getting comfortable.
Nabisco, if Nabisco be here, that trying to find all that. Send us a DM. But seeing that, I'm like, yo, I need to really gotta get back into shape. No, man. And I didn't like completely lose my shape. I'm just not currently at where I would like to be at. You know?
Gotcha.
So I started doing 25 push-ups in the night and the morning, and I was like, yo, if you could do this consistently, why can't you play with the piano consistently? Why can't you do something else consistently? So it's just little things to help start getting you the path you want to be on.
And you also gotta be, I think you also gotta be watchful of like who, what you decide to have a rivalry about, right? And like, for example, one of the games I really enjoy playing is Monster Hunter, right? I love Monster Hunter. I love the concept of it. I love how technical it is. I love how you find the monsters. I love it. I have a really close friend of mine that I talk with on a consistent basis who plays games religiously. And so he's always hitting me up like, yo bro, like what's your hunter rank looking like? Yo bro, what weapon did you unlock yet? Or, oh wait, do you still have that armor set? That's kind of crazy, man. Like, what are you doing? And I had to catch myself because the desire to make a rivalry of that can make me invest so much time into the game that it makes me lose track of my actual goals I have, right? So it's like, it's like the power of the rivalry is that it pushes you to do better in whatever your rivalry is about, right? But if it's not in something you're interested in, right, then like if it's not something that's interested in or consistent with your long-term goals
or healthy,
you know, it's like, don't, like, you could have a rivalry with somebody at a bar because you could be that person that, like, in your friend group that, you know, you're the heavyweight, you could drink a lot of drinks and not get drunk or whatever, and you have the other guy that's like, no, I challenge you to drinking shots, and then then you pass out and you have this like $1,000 bill for all the alcohol you had to drink, you know?
Yeah.
So you gotta watch that. You gotta watch it. You gotta be like, what are you fighting for? Don't fight battles that you don't even care about the outcome really about, you know?
Yeah. And like with rivalry, your ego gets involved and everything like that, your self-esteem gets involved, and you know, just keep going back and forth.
Yeah. Like I've rivalries for fitness and stuff. But it's like I'll have a rivalry with one of my friends over like getting stronger, but I do have a set amount of numbers in mind in terms of weights I will lift, that I'm like, I already told myself that like, oh, once I hit these numbers, it's kind of like, what's the point afterwards? Like, okay, you lifted 500 pounds, bro. It's like, do you really need to lift 550? Do you really need to lift 600? It's like, when in life are you? I haven't Huh? What?
Can you still touch your head after you? Can you still touch your head after you lift 500 pounds?
Yes, some dudes are out. That's why I want to be fit and like buff, but I never want to be like bodybuilder level because they just be like,
can't scratch your neck.
Yeah,
can't wipe yourself properly.
Because you see some of these bodybuilders, man, it's just like, hey, kudos if you have the willpower and the dedication to build yourself that way. But man, if you can't even wipe your own butt, is it worth it? Is it worth it? You know what I mean? If you can't even wipe your own butt, is it worth it? You know what I mean?
Was it worth it watching this episode? Thank you all for coming to the podcast.
Transitions. Smooth with it. Yep.
We freestyled throughout this whole thing. Today I got the 5G update, so I'm still feeling kind of a little off. My schedule is kind of hectic, so I don't have the energy in me today to keep going.
Do you feel like pain in your arm?
Yeah, it's sore. I'm not saying this to scare y'all out of getting it. You can track me throughout the following episode. Feel free to subscribe and like, share, and comment.
If you see my eyes start glowing more and more each episode.
I got the thing today, Sunday, May 2nd at like, I don't know, 2:03 p.m. So if you are a member of our channel, you see my progression or throughout these upcoming weeks. I inspire you to take it or not take it, whatever you do, what you do. But yeah,
just make sure you do your research and make sure you just keep in mind your health and everything. You know.
For sure. We are not medical professionals.
Not at all.
Listen to medical professionals. People you trust.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you don't look for us to trust in that type of stuff, but hopefully you can trust us to provide you with some entertainment, professionally unprofessional conversations.
Facts.
Thank you for coming today.
Facts. everything we share is just our perspective, and we don't know everything in life and stuff, you know what I mean? So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. We had a blast making it. It was a really fun one. Let us know what you guys thought about. Questions for you guys in the comment section. What is your favorite male role models from anime, and what do you take from them? What do you take from them in terms of moving throughout life? And if you had any things you thought about or thought was interesting to bring up that we might not have touched on in this video, leave it down in the comment section down below, and we'll definitely check it out and potentially talk about it in the next video that comes out after this one. So Dr.gr, do you have any last words, anything?
No, thank you for listening. Like I said, we are growing, and we might not talk about anime all the time. As you see, anime or whatever topic we choose just springboards us into a conversation altogether. So we might talk about music, we might talk about life, we might talk about whatever, but we just transition in and out of conversations. So, swim with it.
Yeah, so thank you for listening. Of course, as always, in the description down below, you will find a link to Dr. Griff's personal YouTube channel and Black All Might, aka me, my personal YouTube channel down below. And
Black All Might or Bam?
Bam. The link will be down below, guys. The link will be down below. Yeah, and that's all we have for you guys today. Appreciate you guys checking it out. Like the video, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Till next time, y'all.
All right, peace.